Hello and welcome back. Today I'm going to talk about the advice challenge. What advice would I give for someone who was just diagnosed with EDS or HSD? I believe that the biggest piece of advice I can give is learn, but don't be scared. When I first heard about EDS, one of us may have it, I was watching a YouTube channel just because I thought it was interesting about someone who claimed to have EDS and a few other conditions. And when the doctor said my son had EDS, that was all I could think about because her life wasn't going so good. And I was concerned. I was seriously concerned. And I went home and I did some studying and realized that crap, not just does he have EDS. I bet I have it and my kids have it. Not just him, all of my kids. And that was even scarier because at that time, all I could tell was that the hope was to die early and die young. And that was the only choice. And then I started learning more. And I realized that, wait, if I have it, my kids have it, that means my parents have it. And if my parents have it, it means that it's not a devastating diagnosis. My parents haven't been diagnosed yet. And yet, if all of us have it, they have to have it. And they're growing strong in their late 60s. That means there's hope. So, can I use what I'm learning to get what they have? And I started to realize that I can. That the diagnosis is not a devastating does not have to be a devastating diagnosis. There are things that can be done to improve your quality of life. It's basically when you break your leg, you use a crutch to get around. And it's okay to use a crutch to get around when you have a broken leg. With EDS, there are crutches out there to help you get around, to help you live the best quality of life that you can with what your symptoms are. And that's what that diagnosis should mean. You should learn. You should talk to people, get involved in support groups, stuff like that. But just because there's one person or a bunch of people out there who are struggling does not mean that you will have the same conditions, the same issues, the same problems that they are having, and that you are condemned to live the same life that they are living. Your body is your body. It's not their body. What happens with your condition depends on you and your genetics. That's all it depends on. It does not depend on even my mom had a really bad time, so I'm going to. So that means, and I'm going to be worse than my mom, so that means if I have kids, they're going to be worse than me. In fact, one of my kids had less signs of EDS looking back on things than I did when I was a teenager. My parents have less than I do. I also have a kid who had a lot more. It varies significantly even in families. There is hope, and the best thing you can do for you is to do research into what you are going through and what you can do to live the best possible life for you. Not because someone else is going through this, so I have to take preventative measures to begin with, other than physical therapy. Physical therapy is always highly recommended for EDS. But other than that, there are other conditions out there that you may not need to even consider or look at. Ever. You might have to later down the road. But just because someone has this condition does not necessarily, and they have EDS, the same type of EDS as you do, does not guarantee you will. And I think that's huge to keep in mind. Thank you for your time.